Hi, my name is Adam Kaufman, and I'm the Medical Director at MHA of Westchester. As Medical Director, I see my role as helping to shape the practice of psychiatry at MHA to align with the highest ideals of recovery, including seeing each client as a whole and autonomous human being who lives in relationship with others. Peer-supported open dialogue embodies the ideal of recovery-oriented care. It's an approach that I want to make more available to clients and their families because it supports not just alleviation of symptoms, but also growth for the individual and their support network, or usually their family. Prior to coming to MHA, I worked for 2.5 years with the Parachute program in New York City. I was a psychiatrist on a peer-supported open dialogue mobile team. On Parachute, I worked with a team of 9, 3 of whom were peer specialists. I participated in social network meetings alongside a peer and/or a clinician, and the client and his family were also part of the meetings. Meetings started with a very open-ended invitation from each person, asking what they wanted to talk about in the meeting. Things quickly take shape as we tried to navigate the competing priorities among the people in the room. For example, when client Joe wants to talk about how family members are always on his case, and Joe's mom wants to talk about Joe taking the right medications. Both of these perspectives get validated and worked into the network meeting agenda. The network, which is the name we use to describe the client's family, usually their family, but whoever they choose to include in the meeting, is deciding the agenda, as opposed to the clinicians doing so. When the conversation reaches an impasse, I would go into what we termed a reflection with my team members. It's a bit like watching what's happening behind a two-way mirror in a family therapy training session. The other clinician and I might say something like, "I really appreciate how Joe is present and so active in this conversation. I know it's not always easy for him to speak up in front of his mother. I wonder what it's like for his mother to hear his concerns directly from him in a calm, collected, and organized way." Sharing these thoughts out loud offers an invitation to the client and the family to respond to our wonderings, or to simply let them hear our perspective and not respond. Talking about what's happening in the room, not simply through direct questioning, can appear odd at first, but it can be very helpful for clients, especially those experiencing psychosis. It helps them feel not as put on the spot, and therefore makes them more receptive to ideas. The key idea there to me is that multiple truths are allowable in the room. And by multiple truths, I mean there's enough space in the room for mom to have her worries about Joe's functioning, and for Joe to resent her intrusiveness. Both of their perspectives and experiences are valid and understandable. This process of gathering everyone's input, followed by discussion, interspersed with reflection, validates that and allows multiple truths to exist at the same time. One of the strengths of this approach is that it draws clients and families into taking a more active role in addressing the problems at play, rather than handing them over to the professionals. Joe and his mother present the agenda items, and later they would be invited to brainstorm solutions to the problems that arise. It's not merely a clinical team swooping in with solutions to their problems. This empowerment of the client and the family is an important element of recovery. Open dialogue also presents a time and space for families to hold intense feelings together. In the example, Joe is furious at his mother for his perception that she's trying to control his life down to the smallest details. And his mother's terrified that her son is never going to lead a productive and independent life. The open dialogue approach helps recognize the feelings and gives some distance between the feelings and the decisions that need to be made in that moment. Perhaps mom's fears are what's driving her request for a higher dose of medication. But the meeting helps to illuminate the areas where Joe is actually doing pretty well. Perhaps a medication change doesn't have to occur right now, but can be continued to be explored at a later time. Peers can play a vital role in making social network meetings successful. The presence of peers helps to flatten the hierarchy in the room. A peer's credential is their grasp of their own experience. That such a thing is so valued sends a powerful message to clients and families. Peers also serve as a living model for recovery to clients and families. When family members would say to my peer colleagues, "I can't believe you had those experiences," it was as if they were saying, maybe there is hope for my son or daughter to be doing better than they are right now. Peers can accelerate rapport building and help to get into difficult to discuss topics more quickly. In the story I told about Joe and his mother, the peer I worked with shared, "When I was going through a tough period, nobody could convince me to take a shower. I just had so many more important things to do." With humor and personal experiences, peers can move the conversation in powerful ways that clinicians just can't. I have a lot more to say about all these things, but I hope that this brief sharing right now helps you to see how peer-supported open dialogue can be a powerful and humanistic approach for promoting recovery for our clients. I appreciate you giving me your attention, even as I'm not able to be with you in person. And I really hope that you take a sincere interest in peer-supported open dialogue and that we get to work together in bringing this important approach to people in need. Thank you.